Well, again, I'm Shane Mobley. I'm the new athletic director, head football coach here at Sealy ISD, and I'm going to kind of play off what Ms. Moore did right at the beginning. You know how she started reading those questions, you know, and it's like, okay, then all of a sudden you found out it was for, you know, junior high, elementary math. That's kind of how I feel like when I'm introduced as like how we're going to win the next state championship. I'm telling you right now. But no, I'm very, very excited to be here, and been very blessed up to this point, and I see a great future. And that's kind of why I wanted to be here today, is because, you know, since I've been hired in February, we had to set a foundation. We had to come in with expectations, and with Ms. Moore, our school board, you know, even the high school principal, Ms. Oliver, everybody, you know, that I've asked different little things, and some of them were big things they've said yes to. And one of the first things was for me to be able to bring in Chris Crothers and Clark Harrell, because those two guys, when I'm out meeting people, kind of you get to know the teachers and things like that, they were the ones that were in the weight room changing things up and kind of getting stuff set to our foundation, you know, the way we want it and the direction we want to head, and that is so important. And so part of me reaching out is exactly what these goals are for our board and for our school district. It's also for myself. And because I need to come out, and I want to come out and get involved in the community. I want to get involved with each business, because there's a lot of things out there. A lot of people are going to, especially in the last 2 or 3 years, you know, where I'm coming from Sweetwater, we saw this a couple of times, and I've already seen it once here since I've been here. And so one of the things is a lot of people are going to, you know, call your businesses up and say, hey, will you sponsor the athletic volleyball, or will you sponsor the golf team, and da-da-da-da-da, so on and so forth. And we have nothing as a school, we have nothing to do. A lot of times these companies are coming in from New York, they're coming in from out of states, California, and what they'll say is, if you'll sponsor us, okay, or if you'll donate $500 to this, we're going to print up 50 t-shirts, and they will be given out at the pep rally. They'll be given out at this, and this, and you think you're doing a great job, and it's a great cause, and your heart's in the right place. But the thing is they're going to send t-shirts to us, and this is honest truth. We got about 60 t-shirts in when I was in Sweetwater about 2 years ago, and it was from one of the little casinos, you know, the little casinos in town and all that kind of stuff. And there was about 4 or 5 of them in the community. Well, first of all, I didn't go and ask those businesses like that, because I understand that that's not what the school needs to represent them. And second of all, we're not going to go out and support the little casinos, and you know, because we can't. We're not going to support the liquor stores and all that kind of stuff. But if you have other businesses, make sure. So what I wanted to do is, and before we leave here today, I won't say it right now, I've got with Ms. Moore, I think we've kind of got it out and about to the community a little bit, but I will have certain people. I'm not going to go out and work with 25 vendors and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to work with 1 or 2. And so I'm going to give them a code word. So whenever they call up and they say, look, this is so-and-so, we're doing the poster for the spring sports this year. All right, would you like to buy an ad? It's $50 or $200, and all this stuff right here is going to go back to the athletic program, and they get a certain percentage. Well, the sales rep will give you a password. If you don't have this password, say thanks but no thanks. Okay, that way that way you know that it's coming from the athletic department. And a lot of times I don't do anything, or I don't have my coaches do anything unless we got approval by, you know, administration and stuff like that, because I know we have, you know, you've got Boy Scouts and YMCA. There's so many different organizations out there, and everybody's trying to do fundraisers, you know, for Little League and all that kind of stuff. So the main thing is for us to set a strong foundation right now with especially the athletic department, because there's so many sports and everybody is trying to do what's best for their program and their sports. And I'm encouraging, I hire some great coaches, and we have some great coaches on staff. They want to succeed, and they want our kids to succeed. And so with that being said, I'll get with you guys afterwards, and get the word out for me. Especially like, you know, Tony's Restaurant and Pizza Hut and all those places like that. They need to know, because those are the big targets. The restaurants are the big targets, and that's who's going to be hit up. And so I want to make sure we set a foundation early on, if that makes sense and everything. So now, talking football, I tell you what, it has been it has been, since February, it has been a roller coaster ride, and it has been extraordinary. It has been so much fun. Our kids have bought in big time. And you kind of do things throughout a time period to kind of see the dedication level, where we're headed and the direction we're going and all that kind of stuff. This summer has been huge for us, and I've talked about it quite a bit. Y'all have probably heard. But I think every day, our summer strength and conditioning program, we've gone from 7 to 9, encouraging high school kids. And we've had some of the younger ones show up. And we went from 9 to 11, encouraging the middle school kids to show up. And there's kind of been a mixture. I wanted to do that in case a kid overslept or something like that, and they get up at 9 o'clock. There's no excuse. Come work out, get your 2-hour workout in. UIL allowed us to have basically 6 weeks throughout this summer where it's coach-led. And we're able to do 2 sessions at 2 hours at a time. And the kid cannot go through both sessions. It's Monday through Thursday. So the other weeks, the coaches were up there. We opened up the weight room. The kids wanted to come up there and lift and work out. That's great. But, and we're around. We're not blowing a whistle. We're not giving instructions. The workout's on the board. But we called it senior-led. And the very first week that we got out of school was a senior-led week. We just want to see participation and stuff like that. And we had quite a few kids. But that first week, that was coach-led. And every week since, every single day, we had over 150 kids. In the past, I was told that it was about 40, 30 to 40 the last couple of years about kids getting up, showing up summertime. But to have 150, and I'm very, very proud, as athletic director, that we had a lot of our female athletes come and work out. It's huge that they've bought in, because it's going to be huge for volleyball and basketball, golf, track, softball, all the above that our girls sports plays. Because I am, as an athletic director, it's the 2 hats that I wear. And it's very big that our overall program has success. I feel like our football team will have some success from what happened last year in track and baseball and all that kind of stuff. That's going to bleed over, and basketball will have a playoff of what happens in football season. You've got to continuously do that. And it's the same thing with our girls sports. And so our girls that had success in softball, those that play volleyball, hopefully we can get it carry over in basketball. And then all of a sudden we start climbing, and it becomes a tradition. And so the foundation, I really, really feel like it's been set these last couple of months. And this summer really showed it. Now coming in football-wise, we're expecting between 100, right now, a minimum 150 kids is what we're looking at. We've got a lot of kids that say they're going to play that we haven't seen this summer. I didn't see them. Some of the kids are going out and say, hey, so-and-so wants to play football. And until they show up, we don't know. This week is our work week for the coaches, and we started doing home visits yesterday. All the football coaches, we're going to go and we're going to at least hit the houses twice. If we don't get to make contact the first time, we're going to try to go by one more time. But all the football coaches are going out. We're going to try to hit up all the seniors and juniors and hopefully the sophomores if we have time. But we're going to the kids' house. Instead of the parents coming to us and all that kind of stuff, we're going to break that ice first and make sure that they know who we are. Our doors are open. You guys are welcome to come out to practice anytime. We don't have any secrets. There's nothing we're hiding. We're going to run the spread. We're going to be multiple on defense and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's good for the kids to see the community to be out there. And we want that. We are going to highly encourage it. And it goes off these goals that we have set with the district. It's very big that we do get involved together. If you have something going on, if there's a function that you want me to speak at, or if you want one of my coaches, if you want the head volleyball coach, I highly encourage we will come out and help do that kind of stuff. And so with that being said, we're going out. We want to meet the parents. We're going to hit every house, just introduce ourselves. Coach Mobley's office is open. If your kid's having an issue, if he comes home and there's something not right in practice, if there's not something right going in school or whatever, come up and ask us. Get the other side of the story. All right? Make sure you always get the other side of the story. A lot of times kids will come home and they'll gripe and complain because they're not starting or something like that, and they want to blame coach. Well, I'm going to go talk to coach. No, I don't go talk to coach. I'll have to run. Well, I promise you, my staff and I, we're not going to run your kid if you come visit us. And a lot of times if they come home and tell you something and they say, no, don't go visit coach, you're not getting the truth. To be flat out honest with you. I'm just telling you right now, if they're complaining about something, they don't want you to come visit us. And so we've got to build a great relationship with the parents and the community and all that kind of stuff. But our goal is we're going to get this, we're going to do this through our kids, through our athletes. And I am big on the classroom. I'm big with our coaches, their teachers first. And so our goals that we have set here is very big. You know, right now, I couldn't tell you who a starter is. You know, some people in the article it talked about Dave Campbell's having us pick last. I love it. That's great. That's where I want to be honest with you. You know, it says, well, there's only 3 returning starters coming back, and they've named a couple of names. So I can tell you right now, I don't know who the starting quarterback is. I can tell you right now, I don't know who the starting right offensive tackle is. I can't tell you who the starting middle linebacker is because we broke it up. We had a coaches retreat the other day, and we worked for about 4 hours specifically just talking about the kids. And we're dividing every sophomore to senior up black and gold. So when the black group goes and they're listening to offense and they're going offense, the gold group is going to go do defense. We're going to do it for an hour, hour and 20 minutes, and then we're going to flip it. So every kid hears the exact same practice. And then over the next week or two, we'll start putting the kids in the right spot. And, take a kid that, Justin Eckhart. You know, you can talk about Eckhart and Brandis. These are 2 seniors, you know, that's played different positions and stuff. I tell you right now, Eckhart's not going to be the right tackle, offensive tackle. I promise you that. But he may not ever touch the ball as a quarterback. He may be a wide out receiver. The kid runs a 4.5, 6'1". He can move. He's got hands. I think he's more of a threat out there out wide because they've got to put their best guy out there. And if that's the case, they got to put everybody on that side of the defense. We're going to be able to run the ball away. Or that's going to open it up for a Hunter Clark or a Brandis. And so we got to observe, you know, we got to look at our kids. And so that's how we're going to get towards the state championship. The mindset's there. And it's going to be a struggle a little bit. We're going to put in scrimmages. We'll put our kids in the worst situation as possible. All right? I don't want to come out of winter and all that kind of stuff in a scrimmage. A scrimmage is evaluation 100%. And so we're going to see what the kids, how they can overcome and put them in situations because we can't do that in practice. And if we have a sophomore that's a stud and a sophomore just earns that position outright, it's just like with their grades. If the kid busts their tail and they get this, they will have success. We're going to put that on the football field as well. We're putting that in athletics, an overall athletic program. And so we're excited about all that stuff. Everything is going really, really well. If I come back a week from now, well, it's just only 1 day of practice. In about a month from now, I can talk a lot more X's and O's. A lot more about the football, but we are very, very excited. And, it's hard for me to come out here and say this kid, and this kid, because I can't tell you who this kid and this kid is right now, because it's every kid in our book. And that's what I love about the coaching staff. I have, just kind of talking about my coaches for a second, I brought 3 football coaches, assistant coaches from Sweetwater with me. Chris Carruthers, which is basically the assistant head coach. At our size schools, we're kind of mid-sized. We're not small, but we're also not very big. So there's going to be times I'm going to be at every possible soccer game, basketball game, volleyball game, if I can make them during football season. I'm going to be at softball, baseball, you name it, I'm going to be there. Well, for schools our size, a lot of times the kids that are forgotten about are the kids that go straight volleyball, the kids that go straight football, and that's all they do. And so when their sport's over with, they're still in the athletic period, we still have high expectations for them, but all the coaches are coaching sports. You got 2 or 3 coaching basketball, 2 or 3 coaching powerlifting, 2 or 3 coaching soccer. All of a sudden the coaches are depleted. So who keeps those kids held accountable when their season's over with? When are they coming after school? You know, all that kind of stuff for both boys and girls. And so that's Coach Carruthers. That's his basically second sport, which is probably the hardest of all of them. So he's going to make sure that we have some kind of accountability system. He'll work with Coach Savine, which is fixing to be Coach Boyd when she gets married, the girls coordinator, head volleyball coach, and myself. That way we can kind of, if a kid's slacking on grades, well, if they're in season, we know if the kid's passing, if they're failing, if they're doing what they're supposed to, how they're acting in class. But if they're not, the pass failure, sometimes they get forgotten about. And so there's got to be accountability for every single kid in the athletic program. And so that's part of his responsibility. And then if Ms. Oliver's at soccer, I'm at basketball, we need somebody at maybe the first scrimmage for baseball or something. Coach Carruthers will be able to go in and do that as a kind of as administrator type. I also brought in Coach Bennett. I think y'all did a great article on Coach Bennett coming in. He's going to be the head baseball coach, coach receivers, and then my offensive line coach. And this guy right here, just, you know, I'm just so proud of him, Coach Montgomery, our offensive line coach. You know, he comes and played at TCU. His life is a testimony within itself. He's a gentle giant, probably one of the biggest inspirations for me and for our kids to get to know Coach Montgomery and what he's been through and just his life and how easygoing and how strong of a Christian man he is. He's great, and I would take him anywhere, any place, anytime. And so those are the three coaches that came with me from Sweetwater. Had a coach on staff at one point in time that went to Colleyville Heritage with Joe Willis. Joe Willis is a big-name high school coach right now. Clark Harrell, and Clark's daddy, Sam Harrell, won several state championships, kind of like T.J. Mills did, except Coach Harrell won them in Ennis. He has a brother that played in the NFL, was a very famous quarterback at Texas Tech. But Clark played quarterback at Tulsa. You know, wound up graduating at Abilene Christian, played quarterback there. And he was selling insurance and got in IT's Texas. He was just inspired. And then I coached a couple other kids, Cam Coker, that I hired, first-year coach. He's going to come in and kind of be my assistant at linebacker and stuff like that. So he kind of knows the system. And the other football coach we brought in is the head coach from Waller, his youngest son, Jeremy Phillips. Jeremy has a brother that, Jeremy played at University of North Texas. His brother played at TCU, played in the league. So the great thing about it is when it's said and done, I have coaches on staff that can relate to every kid, from every household, from rich to poor, to kids that have dreams of just graduating, to kids that have dreams that wanted to go to the next level and even further. And we have connections and things like that. So we can honestly sit down and talk to our athletes and tell them the good, the bad, and the ugly, because it's not all, you know, it's a job. If you go to college and you are involved in sports, it is a job. You're going to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. You're going to go study and you're going to go work out. And when all your buddies are out partying and doing their college life, you're going to be working and getting after it and stuff like that. So we want to prepare that ways. And there's no doubt as far as the accountability, no pass, no play, we're going to send them to study halls. We will keep an accountability with their grades and help them, encourage them to be very successful. And so if I know you guys are doing it out there in the community, we're doing it at the school, and then the community and the school has a relationship, these goals are very simple. These goals are very easy, very reachable. And it's something that can be carried on for years, for years on out. And it just kind of established a foundation. I'm a true believer that in a community our size, the flagship of the community should be the high school. The pride of this community should be the high school, and everything feeds off of that. Not just football, not just volleyball, not the athletics, but the school itself. And anything and everything that we can do as a community to make our school the best it possibly can be, we all have pride in it. Not just this group, not just this group, and all that kind of stuff. Because again, we've been there. We had our time in high school, we had our time in college, and our early lives and all that kind of stuff, and we're getting older. And the only thing that we can do now, really and truly, is leave an impression on the young ones. And it's huge. Because that's why I'm here today, because of Wayne Walker. And so, anyway, tired of rambling on. I wanted to talk more football, but again, invite me back next month, and we'll talk a lot of X's and O's and get it up here and all that kind of stuff. So, is there any questions? See, I like this because I already told you I don't know who the starting quarterback is. I like it. I haven't made the first play yet. Coach, why'd you do this? Hey, and honestly, if you're not involved with Booster Club, come get involved with our Booster Club. It's a great Booster Club. It's going to grow. We had a great golf tournament. We've had some different things, but the Booster Club does do a lot of stuff for our athletic side of things, and we really need them, and so it is big. So, no questions. Simple enough. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all for inviting me and for being here.